My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. What I have here today is the newest stove from MSR. This is called the Switch, and folks, it's different. What makes this so different from other competitor stove systems is that it features an integrated pot that you don't have to use. You can actually use this with other cups, pots, kettles, pans, and so on. Think of a Jetboil system, but a system that you can use with anything that you want to. Any sort of pot, cup, kettle, and so on. Not only does this feature dual functionality with the included pot, but also with other pots. At the same time, it features a pressure regulator for a consistent flame. Not only does this have the dual functionality with the pot that's included and other pots and kettles and whatnot, it includes a cup. It includes, obviously, the stove. It includes a cork cozy that goes around the top, too. It is all of these features, plus the design of the system that makes this so unique. Wait until you see it, folks. It is something else. Without a doubt, this stove is different, and I've said it many times here on the channel, I like different. The outdoor industry for many years now has been stagnant. You have all of these companies copying each other with no real innovation. That changes today somewhat. Again, everyone, this is different. To start off here, let's do a component breakdown so you can see all that is included. So up at the top, we have a lid. On this lid, we have a drinking spout, a vent, and also a draining spout. On the inside, we have a gas canister support stand. We have a cleaning cloth. And here we have the stove. Here we have the pot with the included plastic cup. On the back side here, we have butterfly handles with insulators. And again, going around the body here, we have this cork cozy. If you look at the back, you can see here that you can actually take this off. But the truth is, you really don't want to, and this is why. When you take the cozy off, what you're doing is exposing 4 fins that stand up, that basically hold that cozy into place. The 2 small ones, they're not bad. The 2 tall ones are extremely sharp and jagged. And there's really no reason why you would want to have these exposed. If the handles are put up, this could easily scratch your table, pick your clothes. I don't think it could cut you, but it could definitely, like I said, pick your clothes, scratch a table, scratch your phone, tear something up inside of your backpack. This cozy is not something that you would really want to remove because of that. Luckily, putting it back on is very, very easy, and the way that it attaches is fairly smart. But with that being said, I can't say that I really care for this cozy because I don't understand its purpose. And I'll explain why in just a minute. As you're about to see, this cozy is actually quite strange. When it comes to this pot system here, this is a 1 liter max fill capacity. But the company does not recommend that you fill this up more than halfway, which is half a liter. The bottom part to this is basically a heat spreader. That heat spreader allows this stove to perform even faster than your typical canister stove. Speaking of the stove, let's focus on that. So as you can see here, this is very unusual. We have the burner head here. We have this circular ring here. You take your pot and you set it down on top of that ring, just like that. It does not latch into place. It simply sits on top of that ring. How interesting is that? Folks, we're not done yet. Going down here, we have the on-off valve. We have an electronic igniter. And then, folks, we have pot supports. And I'm not talking about this ring. On the inside of this ring, here's a pot support. Here's a pot support. Here's a pot support. These pot supports pop out. Just like so. And all of a sudden, you can use this with any pot, cup, pan, kettle, whatever it is that you want. Without a doubt, this is a new design that nobody has ever seen before. And I want to applaud MSR for thinking outside of the box. This is, without a doubt, different. Definitely different. With the pot supports, they do latch into place under tension. That way you don't have to worry about them falling out or anything like that. They only come out when you want them to. With this stove, it runs on isobutane, and isobutane only. The purpose of the gas canister stand is to add stability to this stove system because it's so tall. Basically, you take this, you put it around the gas canister at the bottom, and you stretch the legs to fit over the rim. And it goes on just like this. Basically, there's small clips in each of the corners here, and that is how you attach it. When it comes to this plastic cup, it features a 16-ounce max fill. The lid to your pot also fits on this cup, just like so. With the stove attached to your gas canister, let's go ahead and let's put the pot on top. As you can see there, this is a very tall system, especially on this large gas canister. Before I fire up this stove, let's see if we can pull this sticker off. This warning sticker. I definitely do not want this on here when this pot gets hot. Luckily, it is coming off. It left a little bit of glue behind, but that's okay. "16 ounces of water, 2 cups. It took 2 minutes and 2 seconds to boil. That, everyone, is a very impressive result. For a canister stove, this is a very good result, and I do believe it's due to the design and not the overall BTUs, the output of the stove itself. With the boil test out of the way, let's just quickly go over the stats concerning the system. The full pot capacity, again, is 1 liter. But the company does not recommend that you fill it over half. And to me, this really doesn't make sense, and I'll talk about that in the cons section. This runs on isobutane fuel. The BTU output level is not known, as MSR does not state this information. Just about every company who makes a stove for camping purposes states the BTUs. I wonder why MSR doesn't. It's kind of strange. When it comes to the materials, you're looking at a combination of stainless steel for the stove. We have some aluminum. With the pot, it is made from aluminum. You have the plastic lid and also the plastic cup. And of course, you have the cork cozy. When it comes to the pot, with the nesting cup and the lid, it measures 7.1 inches tall and it's roughly 4.5 inches wide. And that's with the cozy. The stove by itself measures 3.5 inches tall and it's 5.5 inches wide. And that's with, of course, the pot supports out. When you have the pot on top of the stove, it stands 10 inches tall. Yes, folks, it is very tall. And lastly, everyone, when it comes to the retail price, $140. We've gone over the stats. You've seen the entire package, everything that's included. You've also seen the performance from this stove. Now let's talk about my impressions of this stove and what I think about it so far. First things first, let's talk about quality, because that is a shocking aspect to this stove. The overall quality of this, as far as like the fit and finish goes, is just okay. When it comes to this pot, this is actually 2 different components. Component 1, component 2. And they have been, it looks like, welded together. Here, 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 all the way around. And also up here at the top with the cozy thing. These welds are really, really sharp. Shockingly sharp. So sharp, in fact, that you can scratch your table. It'll pick your clothes. It can catch your skin. It's actually quite shocking at how sharp this is. Or I should say, these points are. For some reason, these weld points have not been filed down and smoothed up, but rather they're just super, super jagged. But even the weld points for the handles for these 4 prongs here, they are really, really sharp for some reason. I don't want to say that this is a deal breaker, but it is something that I'm disappointed about. You have to consider that this is a high dollar item. When it comes to camping stoves, you can find these really inexpensively. $140 is definitely like the higher end of the backpacking canister stove segment. The quality should be perfect. These super rough, sharp edges, this is unacceptable. This will scratch your table. It'll pick your clothes. It could potentially cut your skin. Your skin will, without a doubt, get hung on these points. And to me, folks, that is shocking and it's not acceptable. Not for $140. As far as the overall design goes, I have to say I like this quite a bit. It is definitely different. And again, I like that. I like the dual functionality. You can use this cup, this pot, if you want to. Or you can pop out the pot supports very, very quickly. And I do like that. That's pretty smart. Even though I have to say, this is very funky looking. I've never seen a stove like this before. Initially, I thought this system looked like a Jetboil knockoff. But now that I see it in person and I can use it, I can tell you all, it's not. Only from a distance do they look similar. They are very, very different stove systems. And that's a good thing, because in my opinion, Jetboils are not that good. I've tested out many different versions of the Jetboil, and I don't like any of them. They're not that good of stoves, and they cost way too much money for what they offer. This, in my opinion, makes a lot more sense than a Jetboil. There's a lot of versatility here that you simply do not have with a Jetboil system. Continuing to talk about design, with the pot here, I have to say that I'm a little bit confused. The 1 liter aspect I like. The fact that there's very little measurement markings I don't like. The fact that you have this line on the inside and it says max fill confuses me. I'm assuming that the company doesn't want you to get burned because they don't think that you are going to pay attention or anything like that. So they have this max fill line, and their thinking is that once it's boiling, water will splash out if you go above that line. The problem with that is this. Even with just 16 ounces of water in this pot, it was splashing out. Why would you limit the overall capacity of this pot to half? It simply makes no sense. Plus, when it comes to this cozy, again, the company only wants you to fill this up halfway. What is this cozy for? It's not going to be hot up here. It's hot down here. Something else I don't like is the fact that you really should not take this off because of these metal prongs. They will scratch everything, pick your clothes, and so on. This aspect, to me, is really weird. The stove, I love. The dual functionality, that's great. When talking about this pot, there's a lot here that just does not make much sense. I went through the instruction manual. It says do not fill past that point. It does not explain why. But again, even with 16 ounces of water, which is far below the max fill line, it still splashes out. When it comes to the performance of this stove, it is excellent. This is very much a pocket rocket with a funky stand on top and with pot supports. It's a good performer. There's no doubt about it. Even though we do not know what the BTUs are of this stove, it does have a regulator, it's plenty powerful, and when it comes to the adjuster, it's good enough. It's a little bit loose. It's looser than I like typically, but it gets the job done. The igniter gets the job done so far. When it comes to the gas canister support, I do like this. It's a little finicky to put on, but it definitely adds stability to the system. With the plastic cup and the lid, it does exactly what you would expect to do. I should mention, everyone, that the inside of this plastic cup here is all scraped up, and some of the plastic is coming off because The pot has those weld points. They're so sharp that they're actually scratching and tearing up the plastic on the inside of this cup. MSR, you can do better. I do like the fact that we have measurement markings on this cup though. That is nice. When it comes to the little pack towel, I wish the company did not include this because this is something that you are having to pay for. I paid for this. And the truth is, I don't need it and you may not need it either. Anytime a company begins adding in frivolous items with their stoves, it feels like they're trying to justify the high price of the stove that you're purchasing. Oftentimes they'll throw in towels like this, pot scrubbers, cutlery, and so on. Most of those items are garbage. This here, it's kind of useful, kind of. I mean, it's so small. Let's say that you actually cooked inside of this pot. This would not be enough to scrub that thing up and to clean it properly. It is very, very small and it's right on the line of being worthless. In theory, there should be no issues when it comes to this cork and filling this pot up higher past that mark, because already the cork is lower than that mark. So some of this is being exposed to high heat already. It does not seem to make a difference. This, of course, is something that I will test out going forward. If there's any sort of issues, I will report back. When it comes to the butterfly handles, these are good. I will say, these don't open up very smoothly. It's almost like nails on a chalkboard, or it's like there's dirt inside of the handles, which there's not. There's quite a bit of tension there, and they really do not want to open up. The insulators, those are appreciated though. The overall stability of this system is not bad. When your pot is halfway full, or you have 16 ounces of water in it and it's boiling, there is quite a bit of shake to it. Because of that, I would highly recommend that you use the canister support stand. That is going to help you a lot as far as stability goes with this system. You have to keep in mind, it is 10 inches tall without the fuel canister. This is a very tall system. And you also have to keep in mind that the stove merely sits on top of that ring. It does not latch into place or anything like that. Concerning the weight of this system, I'm a little bit conflicted here. This is very overkill for a half-liter system. If you can use the entire pot, then it makes a lot of sense. For half a liter, it really doesn't. I do like the fact that everything fits on the inside. That's great. But still, this is bulky no matter what. And then lastly, we have to talk about the value. And of course, that is subjective. I'm very conflicted about this too, because this is $140. The quality does not match that price tag. The design of this system, I'm not sure if it matches that price tag either. I really hate for this to be such a negative preview, but there's so many issues with this stove here. It's really, really hard to even suggest this, to recommend this at all. With that being said, this is going into testing now. I'm going to continue testing this out for a while, and I will be back with my ultimate review. As it stands right now, I would not recommend this to anybody. There are better systems out there. I do appreciate the fact that MSR is thinking out of the box. That is awesome. They're on to something here. But there's so many points that are just a miss. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not really sure what MSR was thinking, and I would love to know. If you have found this episode helpful, please hit the thumbs up. It's a great way to support this channel. Do keep in mind that this channel is agenda-free. I purchased this product so you do not have to, and the purpose of this channel is to share information and nothing else. I'm not selling this product. I don't care if you buy it or don't buy it. That means nothing to me. Do take care, everyone. Be safe out there. Strength and honor.